Hello, everyone. That was pretty fast, I think. We welcome back to Games on Fast Forward, GoFF, Golf, whatever you want to call it. And today we got Radionics running one of my favorite games of all time, personal favorites of all time, Ender Lilies. He'll be running Ending B, super, not super, sub-spirits only, which means you don't use any of the main spirits, which are like the more quote-unquote powerful spirits. Not all the time, but that's a general rule. But yeah, Radionics, how do you feel?
Pretty good. I'm nervous, but I'm happy to be here. And yeah, the thing about all the main spirits is that they have unlimited uses. The sub spirits have limited, so you can straight up run out of damage mid boss fight.
Mm-hmm. And joining Radionics and commentary, we got Kiki.
Hi, hello.
So,
Yeah, we should just be able to
Sorry.
start.
okay.
Just give me a quick
So,
countdown.
just before we do start, on top right you can see the version. Specifically, we're running 1.1.6. There are two different categories for 1.0 versus 1.1. And in particular, I will be running it with unlimited FPS. Usually you run it on 60, but in particular, I get screen tearing when that happens. So that's just the only settings you really need to know for this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
Well, I didn't ask, so. But with that, are you both ready to get into this?
Yep.
Heck yeah.
All right. I'll let Geeky explain some of the basic movement we do to start here, but otherwise time starts now.
And we're off.
Well, right off the bat, you'll see him doing what we call a double dolphin, which is pretty much the dodge in this game is a flop in the beginning. So when your flop touches the ground, you can time a second dodge, and it creates like a little second dodge it's faster, pretty much.
And otherwise, we do have this game has a heal mechanic, which it will let you heal while full HP, but you can cancel out of a heal while climbing a ledge, and it lets you teleport up ledges like that. So you cancel the ledge climb with a heal, and then you cancel the heal with a jump or dodge.
That's called prayer canceling.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that. That's important. Otherwise,
And
beginning area is pretty much just run and dodge the enemies.
Pretty
Nothing
much.
crazy.
There's like different tutorial screens you have to skip as you go. Parry cancel the ledge to grab the lever, go through the wall. And really the only other thing is on the bottom left, you can see our spirit sets. So there's two sets of 3 weapons that you can use, but when you use the swap, it cuts off about 150 milliseconds off of the end lag for a flop. So every single time we dodge, we swap spirit sets in order to cut off that small bit of end lag. We fall just beside the lever. We don't want to clip the small ledge there, otherwise it takes longer to hit the lever. Tie together some pair cancels. And for any fans of soundtracks out there, all the music in Under Lilies is made by Millie. Highly recommend.
Which I'm actually not sure if chat can hear as well, I'm not gonna lie. Can you turn it up?
Unfortunate. But either way, we're going to do the first boss here.
First boss.
Yeah. If you want to explain a bit how Sigurd works here.
Yeah, this is pretty much just a matter of piling on as much sword damage as you can, because that's the only weapon we have right now, which will be ditched immediately after this fight. But when you swap the weapon, the different, like, when you swap the weapons, it removes the ending of the sword animation, which is faster, so you just continually swap and hit her with the sword.
We actually intentionally take the hit when she's dragging her claws there, because it knocks you along her path. If you just stand there, she'll knock you away from her. It takes longer to get to her. Overall,
ideally she would have. Oh, sorry.
No, I think you're going to say the same thing as me.
I was gonna say, ideally, she should have died closer to the right of the screen so you don't have to run across the room after the fight.
Absolutely. So we do have about 4-5 seconds of time loss purely because of where the boss died. But otherwise, we do now have the double jump. And we are good.
Brilliant.
At the first opportunity, we are swapping off of Umbral. And for the rest of the game, we are not allowed to equip any main spirits. So we always have limited DPS. The amount of damage we can do is a finite number. And this run takes a lot of math for boss HP compared to our current damage. And that's if you don't miss a single attack. I am going to intentionally drop Secret at certain enemies in order to get slightly more XP before the next boss. Because with each level, you get a very, very minor damage and health boost.
This is true. This is true. While you're doing the flop move, if you use Sigrid while you're in the middle of your flop in the air, it resets Lily to an idle position, which is slightly faster than just doing like a full flop.
Yeah. So you don't have to spirit swap or anything. You can just start another jump immediately.
And here we're going to get another sub-spirit. We're going to get another sub-spirit. We're not going to forget to get it or anything like that.
Hardest boss in the game.
Did not in my practice or anything. So we want to drop Secret directly on top of him for double hits. Otherwise, we just trap him in the corner. Partially to guarantee double damage, and to also, when we purify the boss at the very end, we'll walk off screen closer to our end destination of this room.
It's an absurdly easy fight, even in just like the normal gameplay.
Yeah, you can, if you just stand directly on top of him, you can damage tank about 7 times.
Oh my god.
Before you even have to heal. So you can do the entire boss without moving if you so chose to. We are not going to equip him yet though, because we hit the benches in a very specific order.
This area,
now
by the
we
way.
are going to the spooky witch area.
Yeah.
Get excited.
This area, by the way, has my favorite boss in the entire game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She is a mandatory boss, so we will see her. Not for long, but we'll see her.
Oh.
So you are going to see the screen kind of freeze and lag a little bit. That is actually intentional. And the way that works is, we call it Spalt. By hitting space and alt, you use the Windows function to pretty much open, to unfocus the window. And in doing that, Lily still processes some of the physics calculations, but not all of them. One of them being Lily's momentum. So that gets complicated really quick, but it lets us catch the ledges. Not like that. I missed it completely. But certain projectiles can pass through walls during spawns. If anyone knows like Super Meat Boy speedrunning, it's the exact same window unfocus glitch, except it's capped at about 1.5 seconds.
Never watched Super Meat Boy speedrunning.
It's a very interesting set of speedruns. I would recommend watching it. I don't know any other runners for it, but we don't use it too often in the early game here, but it is necessary for a lot of the skips later on. So one of the things I am going to do here is I'm going to throw both the spirits at a specific time in order to kill 2 dogs. If I kill both dogs, I get level 2, which will prep me slightly more for this future boss.
In this game, add apparently a tiny bit of health, allegedly. Never seen it, but it also increases your attack, which is very useful in a run where damage is so very limited.
And your damage is also tied to, because it's tied to the spirits, and using more spirits lets you move faster. If you just try to move too fast, you block yourself out of defeating bosses.
And right here, we're getting another sub-spirit, and this guy's really annoying because he can just choose to teleport around if he wants to, and you pretty much can't hit him while he's in his teleport mode.
Pretty much. He's
So
not
there's a bit of
teleporting much
RNG.
here, but I stay in the rightmost corner there so that he's locked to teleporting into 2 preset positions instead of about 4. But he's
That was
still
a
very
pretty good
annoying.
fight for that guy.
By the
It was
way,
pretty good. Because Yep.
sorry. Oh, I was just gonna lower down a little because he says I was just about to see her again or something like that. There's another spirit in the game called the Floral Sorceress, which is his wife. You have to kill both of them.
He went on some kind of pilgrimage to find something to cure her, and this whole world is like a blighted world. It's like a pretty much dying kingdom. You'll see a lot of rain as a motif, where the rain is actually what infected the kingdom.
The Rain of Death.
He got caught in the rain and never came back.
Yep.
That they do. But a lot of this game is just the general movement. We're going to see another application of Spalt here, where we catch that ledge that we really should not have caught there. But all it's done, if you have the game in, I believe, borderless, I would have to double check my settings. I think it's full screen. If you hit Alt and then space, it brings up that menu on the top left. Hit Alt again, it gets rid of it. And that pause is where it's running some of those calculations. So you are going to see another fairly major application of Spalt coming up here.
Oh, by the way, what does the relic do? That's Calivia's ring, right?
That was more
Oh.
spirit uses.
Ah.
Yes, it gives more spirit uses
I'm
for
so-
our spirits.
I'm brilliant.
apologies.
I know everything.
I just
Which-
tanked all of that damage.
It's just like in the Souls-like.
Pretty much.
Yeah, just like in Souls-like, you can have
Just like
relics.
in Hollow Knight, it's like charms.
I hate Hollow Knight. Sorry,
Mhm.
we had the Hollow Knight runner earlier.
Whoa,
I
whoa,
shouldn't say that.
whoa. That was too far. Just gonna go left just to
Shame.
grab those pots there. So I do grab a lot of pots through the run because there's 2 upgrade materials. There is Furious Blade and there's Stagnant Blade.
Floral Sorceress.
One of those can upgrade main spirits and one of them upgrades sub spirits. So we're only interested in one of those.
Yep.
Yes, this is
That guy's wife.
sorcerers.
Yeah, you do get to see
Very
wife killing, no, husband killing wife here.
And Floral is going to be a fairly integral part of this run, so
This Floral Sorceress spirit, I believe, is one of the best sub-spirits in the game. Am I correct?
one of the best for
Yeah.
sure.
According to my poll many years ago, it was by far the most popular. For a good reason too. She's goated.
So we'll explain why when we get to a boss fight, but yes, she is exceedingly goated. I was not supposed to exit the bench there. I'm gonna head back to Crossroads. We're gonna take a little bit of a detour here.
Road trip.
So instead of going down, we are going up. And I can use a lot of my spirits here. I don't need to worry too much, except for Floral. I want to keep Floral at the start of this because of birds.
We're knocking
I wanna
more
knock
birds out of
down-
the air to get more XP. Gotta get more XP.
Absolutely. There's the white flowers there, which restore your health. And you don't need to wait for it to catch up to you. You can just hit a load zone and it'll bring it with you. And then there's going to be red flowers, which restore spear uses. So we'll pretty much grab them whenever we can. The healing ones aren't as important. It's a fairly precise jump there to grab that ledge.
Yeah, I know from experience.
I dove too early there, but I still managed to just double dolphin out my way out of it. Double dolphin can be done from any height. It's not too dependent, but it's harder to hit the more velocity that Lily has. The physics engine in Ender Lilies depends a lot on velocity and momentum. And just follow there to knock him off and kill. Just walked straight into the bird because it usually doesn't fly that far forward. And it is best to skip this bench, but I'm going to hit it just for a bit of safety, as well as refilling all my spirits. About 4-5 seconds, but considering that the difficulty this run gets to later, I'm not going to worry too much about that 4 seconds right now. Because I can guarantee we are not finishing this game deathless.
Anyways, while we're flicking
Seems like
levers,
nothing in the
I was gonna say,
in the grand scheme of things.
yeah. I was gonna say, while we're flicking levers and clearing paths, which like one donation we have.
Absolutely, as we head through marketing.
We got a donation
Enemy
from our
spam.
previous runner, Yokai Fan. Thank you for having me despite last year. Here's the money I owed from GoFF last year, plus a little bonus. $6.76. I'm assuming that's pound conversion, that's why it's 76. Because Yokai is from Britland. Britland.
Britland? Wow. Never heard of that place. Such a way with words. So I'm going to take a little detour left, just hit that red flower, because we are heading up on my favorite sub-spirit. I know a lot of people don't like him, but when in my casual playthrough, after I killed him, I never took him out of any of my spirit sets.
Oh, Headless Defender.
Let's see. Headless Defender.
I actually
So
love
Headless
Headless
Defender
Defender is
Defender
pretty
too.
too.
much. He acts
The
as pretty
gimmick with
much
Headless.
a parry.
Yeah. He acts as a parry and he blocks all damage from the front. But you might have seen it was a bit weird. He kind of teleported there. During his charge attacks, if you hit him with an attack, he'll actually just teleport to the left side of the arena. I have no idea why, but I'll take it.
Also, I wonder why he's called Headless Defender.
Because he doesn't have a head mark.
Hmm.
Wow, you
Think
really
it's
used
easy.
your head on that one. Don't laugh at that, man.
I thought it was funny.
So no head,
So-
says the failed criminal.
So no.
Crazy.
Oh my god.
Break skateboard.
I love that. I love that.
So, on the top right, you can see the minimap. There is a green diamond in this. Oh, there's a green diamond in the center of this one, and that shows that there's a respite, a bench in here. But you don't actually have to hit that in order to get the fast travel point for it. So I can just run right past it, grab another chain of sorcery, which just lets us equip more relics in the future.
Oh, by the way, let's not
And-
stop while we are ahead. Keep the head buttons coming.
Terrible.
You may continue. Not by me.
So we're going to equip Headless on both our sets here, and we're going to head towards the next main spirit boss. You're terrible. Shut up.
Are you gonna keep mentioning every time the word head is used from now on?
Yeah, pretty much.
But we are going to get a major application of Spelt here, because if we Spelt while
Big
Lily is
Spelt.
falling, it keeps her velocity and keeps her falling through water, because it doesn't register that she's in water during that time. So if we do it twice, we can skip the entire winding route into this room and instead just come directly from underneath. Because Lily can swim, but not downwards yet.
And
And
now
we'll do
it's
another
time
short elevator skip.
for everyone's
time.
favorite boss. Oh, I'm so excited to explain this one.
Yeah, go
So
for it.
this is Elaine, and one thing we haven't pointed out yet is that enemies and bosses have a stun bar below their regular red health bar that you can see right above their sprite. And that is pretty much when they get stunned, they fall to the ground and don't attack and don't do contact damage. And for Elaine, we use this to our advantage because bosses in this game, as well as enemies, can take fall damage
Good.
while Lily cannot. And so the strategy for Elaine is pretty much to lure her to the top of the screen as best you can and then knock her down to deal the maximum amount of fall damage. And because it's a lot faster than just using spirits. So that's pretty much what you're gonna see throughout this fight as well as throughout a few other fights in the game.
Perfect. We got her at low stamina at the start of third phase because her first attack is a long animation, as well as guaranteed top of the screen for maximum damage.
You can see all the juicy damage just being counted towards the health bar.
You sound way too reverent, dude.
Movie?
He got a little excited. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I don't even know what that word
Happens
means.
to the
Mark
best
gets a
of us.
little. Mark gets a little silly when it's Elaine time.
A little silly.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I
Good
don't even know
split
what
on that, by
reverend
the way.
means.
All right, and that was a pretty quick fight. That was pretty good.
Yeah, clean.
Third phase Elaine is extremely fast because of Headless Defender. Because when she does that teleport attack with her tendrils, it automatically knocks her out of the air if you parry her. There's a few bosses that have attacks like that, but far and few between. The bad news is that we just killed a main spirit boss. That means that all future main spirit bosses have increased damage and health. If we kill too many main spirits, it becomes impossible for us to physically kill the final boss because we don't have the damage output.
Unfortunate.
So even though we got like that respite earlier, and it's directly beside a chapter boss, we're not gonna kill him.
And now it's time for bird skip. So that's very nice.
First
I
try.
think. It's
Yeah.
called bird skip.
It was called bird skip when you had to align burner the bird, right? And then bird skip was when you could just skip through him with Elaine and Umbral.
Absolutely.
Bird skip.
Exactly.
Is
And then-
spawn.
We can just skip all of that. We just
Yeah.
spalled. And
Yep.
right here, you're gonna see another little piece of prayer canceling shenanigans, which is when you swim, you can cancel out the swimming animation with a prayer, and then cancel out the prayer animation with another swim, and you pretty much chain those back and forth throughout this entire swimming segment, which is way faster.
Yeah. If you mind, could you slow down for a second? See how slow the normal swim is? Because the difference is drastic.
Yeah, it's drastic. So we have to do this through some of the mines, just doing the slow, but this prayer swimming is way fast.
Ooh.
That messes up my line completely. Okay, we still got it.
And their mermaid.
Inner Mermaid. I don't see anyone do this line on the mines, but it's my favorite. I do it all the time.
Probably because it's not optimal.
A lot of people take it like safer, but yeah.
That was a joke.
Because
by
if
the way.
you have to
Now we're in
heal
the
too much,
stockade.
absolutely. Because if you take too many hits and have to heal, you can't fast swim anymore because you don't have a healing charge.
Yeah.
So
From here on out, we're pretty much in areas we're not supposed to be in. This area is later game than what we are equipped for, but we're gonna do it anyways.
I think we
do
get
that.
2-shot now, right? In this area.
pretty much, yeah. And in particular, there's certain enemies that do a lot more damage than others. But as we do have rats, there's a lot of rats in this area. And maybe some of the worst enemies ever. So I'm gonna drop a spirit to drop Lily's horizontal momentum so that she can straight fall through some of the platforms. Otherwise, we're getting to one of the benefits of 1.1. This elevator on 1.0 is terrible. Also, this guy's not supposed to be on here.
On 1.0, invisible guys will just spawn on the elevator, and there's nothing you can do about it. And sometimes you get trapped in a chain of going on the elevator and then getting hit off by an invisible guy, and then waiting for the elevator to come down, and then getting back on, and then getting hit again, and it keeps going.
Because those executioners that teleport can teleport onto the elevator, and if they get too high on the elevator, they will teleport on top of the level, and they will lose their visual model. So they will teleport onto the elevator while invisible, and it's very, very difficult to stop them. The only way you can stop them is with the Headless Defender parry, or just really, really good positioning. I'm gonna
Luckily,
heal
that
there.
doesn't happen
It is-
in this patch that we're playing on.
Yes, this patch
Thank
they did
goodness.
fix that, thankfully.
Oh
this
god.
is-
Oh my
really
god, the
bad.
men.
That's really bad.
Oh my-
Jeez, that was
Oh.
terrible cycling. So that's
Death
the
to the
issue with the
men.
executioners. They can teleport directly in front of you and just completely ruin your path. So we're doing that elevator again here.
Please take your head off the clouds.
No.
I was desperate thinking of more head jokes, and that was the best I could come up with.
That was your best. Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Hey, shut up. I'm organizing this event.
It's just time save for the next run. It's fine. If you hold down and spam the spirit switching, Lily does a little shuffle, by the way. You'll see me doing that a lot when I'm just idling. I always try to take that upper route to avoid those two assassins, because they can be rather annoying. And always be diving through that room. You can never just walk, because the executioners will just teleport directly in front of you. You'll bump into one of them, and you'll get frame trapped into all the rest.
Lovely.
Yep. So, another little spelt application. We're not supposed to be able to reach this, but that is unfortunate.
Be able to reach this, and we won't. Unfortunate.
That is unfortunate, because if you miss it, you fall down a ledge that you can't get back up.
Anyways, while we're backtracking,
for-
was it like one small donation?
Yeah, we'll take a donation.
Mikey Microwaver. The men are going to distract you. Watch
Hey.
out.
Not the
$69
men.
in amount.
This guy knows about the men. This guy knows about the men. This guy knows.
He's one of my personal friends. He might know about the men.
That was,
Oh my goodness.
That was a $69
There's-
donation. That's a huge donation.
Jeez.
For the men. Oh my god, it's perfect. It's so
That's
perfect.
crazy. Thank you very much for that. Not the men, but for the donation. Obviously. So I'm
You're
not gonna
always
miss it
grateful
this
for the
time.
men. We're gonna do it this
Yeah.
time.
Nice.
So, for reference, that is the first time I've ever missed that jump, and I'm devastated.
It's okay, you just gotta get your head in the game.
Yes, Kiki, you're on my side.
I don't like this pattern. This is not good behavior.
How come? Your head's too hot? Or something like that? I don't know. You're a hot head? Potato head?
Thanks.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know, I'm desperately trying. I'm not that good at English.
You're desperate. It's okay. I understand. So we are going to equip Executioner's Gloves. Big part of that being, if we are at full HP, we do more damage. So ideally, we have to be at full HP at all times. Otherwise, we don't have the damage we need.
Alright, and now we are in a very, very, very difficult and annoying fight. This is Honir, and he's a late game boss. So pretty much the goal for this fight is to avoid the additional men he spawns, because they will keep spawning, and knock him down while he's in the middle of his jumps. He'll do a lot of jumps during the fight, and you have to time all of your spirit uses so that you can knock him out of the air to get fall damage. It's like the Elaine falling thing, but like harder, way harder, because he's not always in the air.
That was not a great drop. He phase transitions once his health reaches the P in Keepers, so here we go. Now he gets a little more RNG dependent. He will either throw one dagger and jump, or he will throw a second dagger. We need him to jump. We need him to throw a second dagger when we need to damage his stamina, and we need him to jump when he's low on stamina. Like that. Very fast third phase, by the way.
This is speedy as heck, honestly. And this is where the music gets really good. I don't know if the stream can hear it, but the music gets really good.
It's pretty quiet, but
got it.
but if they turn it up, they probably can.
I got frame trapped into an executioner there, which was really unfortunate. I'm gonna let him just do his attacks, just so I can purposely drop him. Get a little bit of extra damage there. He's very jumpy.
Dang, Honir letting that all out, letting all the rage inside him out.
Which is
Into
a
his face.
surprising amount. I did not mean to drop him there, but it happens. Overall, a very slow third phase, which is unfortunate. This is like the ideal attack, because then you can drop him from higher up.
Nice.
Right.
But he doesn't
At least,
do it
at
to
least
him.
you didn't die. Actually, I'm impressed and very proud.
Thank you. Unfortunately, this is one of the easier bosses of the run.
Oh, by
Every
the way,
boss from here on out has to be completely hitless.
by the way,
every
funny
main
enough,
spirit boss.
we can actually get ending A right here, right now.
Yes, if we went directly to the right, we would get ending A right now.
But we're going
The
for
only
ending
difference
B.
being we're going for ending B, so it's going to be a bit longer. The only difference between ending A and right now is that ending A does not grab Headless Defender. So you have to kill Elaine and Honir without either of them. We are going to get to one of the more difficult jumps. I do use Spalt to fall through the water a bit faster there. But otherwise, Spalt has another application. When you're rising up out of water, if you Spalt right at the edge, you gain a little bit of extra height in the air. We're doing this in order to grab a hook that is directly above here, but just slightly out of reach. As long as I don't die. There we go.
Which the hook is Honir hooking for us. Cute.
That is Honir.
Yes.
Yes, that's the main
Here we're
reason we had to
picking
go
up
kill him.
800 freaking stagnant blight, which is like way too much for
Yeah.
this point in the game. It's a lot. That's like end game amounts.
Yeah, because you see
So
here, we get
far-
30 from that, but we get 800 from that one.
So far, we've like consumed about 120 stagnant blight, so to get 800 is insane. We need as much as possible. But really, the only reason we kill the main bosses now is because this is a Metroidvania, so it's going to give different movement abilities that we require.
We're picking up another sub-spirit here. This is Fallen Sentinel.
Partially, we don't actually need him for DPS, but he's just in the way. Doing very weird attacks. Didn't have Headless there to be able to take him down, unfortunately, but somehow that missed me.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how. I was really risky because I would have insta-died if I missed it. This fight can be kind of unnerving, not because it's hard or that it's hard to like predict, but because there's zero music in this room, and I don't know why.
I think it's to unnerve you. I think you're supposed to be scared. It worked.
With that
It's an
fight, out of any
intimidation
fight,
technique.
I
don't know, man.
Fine.
I'm
All
not
right.
the
Well,
developer.
we'll enter the next main area of the game, which is Ruined Castle, and we're gonna upgrade very specific spirits. We're gonna do Fungal to 4, Sigrid to 4, Floral to 4, and we're gonna do Youth. I'm gonna do Youth twice. We're gonna keep 370.
We have a secret weapon coming up later, pretty soon actually, that we're holding on to the blight for.
Yes, it is. It's gonna get a little weird. Just trying to spread out my damage across these enemies, just to kill them a bit more evenly. But
Ruined
all of these
Castle is-
enemies. Yep, go on.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say this area is very it's absolutely a gauntlet with a lot of locked rooms with fights in them that you have to
Yep.
progress through.
And a very common moveset for these enemies is that they all block damage from the front, so you need to hit behind them.
It's subtle foreshadowing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it.
Good job, Mark.
Why does it feel like
proud.
why does it feel like you're not proud?
It's because
That's a you problem.
Oh,
It's
okay.
because bare minimum is not. Sorry, I know I'm mean to you. It's not slash J.
It's fine, guys. We're close friends, I think.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Welcome to the only games on fast forward run where everyone has beef with each other.
Pretty much. We make beef just to never settle it and go from there. And grab another
It's
chain
good
of sorcery.
entertainment.
Definitely is. And we're gonna just avoid the rest of these enemies. Ideally, we want to kill any enemies we go by for the experience, but we can't stop by any of the enemies. So it's only enemies that we can kill without stopping. Which is pretty much none of these. I'm gonna unlock one set of locked doors on that elevator before heading down here. a kind of precise fall. We're going to use both these hooks to avoid getting slugged. There's a lot of those early enemy slugs in that room. It's very hard to climb if you just leave them be.
Wow, I should never notice the window. It looks really pretty.
You didn't? I was just
It
about to
is.
comment on how pretty that window is.
The art in this game is gorgeous.
Yeah, better than Hollow Knight.
Absolutely. I
Well, it's
think each
different.
has
Depends
its
on
own
the art
merit.
style.
I'm just a
Yeah.
Hollow Knight hater, I'm gonna be completely honest.
You're such a hater. Crazy. So, we're not actually going to equip anything here, but we're going to take a bit of a detour.
Another road trip.
Blight Reef Crown. Crown? No, wait. Never mind. That's another area.
We are going to grab the Decayed Crown here.
Yeah, the crown. That was lost on the team.
We only use it for one boss though. So, but we do get this boss here, Blade Maiden, which a
don't
lot of
attack
people
her.
missed, but they
Yeah.
just don't attack you. But we kill her very quickly here.
No.
Gold split.
Now it's
Gold-
secret weapon time.
Gold
it's-
split, by the way. But yes,
Ooh.
the worst spirit in the game is the backbone of this entire run, and we are going to be using Dog for the rest of the run.
Mhm.
And they are so important, in fact, that we are going to put them on 2 different slots. Which might seem a little crazy, because we're also going to put all of our Blight into Dog and nothing else. I also need to equip Decayed Crown. Don't forget to equip that. And we now have to do one of the hardest jumps in the run. So up ahead, behind this is a locked room. We do not want to do that locked room.
It's absolutely
But-
full of very hard enemies,
Yeah.
and it's just miserable and slow.
It is. Also, don't forget to properly make your loadouts and not do what I did and for some reason have Headless on 2 of them. Not sure why I did that, but... Oh no, how do I set this up again? It's this, and this with...
Technical difficulties. Don't worry.
It's fine. That's why you try not to mess up your muscle memory for it.
Hey, Bloodless guess it. Lily.
Don't worry about it. So, we have to do a damage boost here. And it's very difficult because one of the inputs you can buffer, the other you cannot.
Hmm.
And you're supposed to dodge, buffer the Headless Defender, and then immediately spalt. And you have to do them as soon as possible, ideally frame perfectly. And if you dodge just slightly too early while you're in the damage state, it does not buffer it, and it will immediately just Headless Defender. It is a very difficult skip to do, but very rewarding if we can get it. No. I have 5
That's
tries here
number
before
2.
I'm just going
Yep.
to... Yeah, I put a rule for myself. I'll only do 5, and then we will just skip the skip and take the time loss.
We may or may not have
Because-
gotten trapped in purgatory yesterday during practice.
Oh no.
Yes. On several of my runs... This is the run killer right here. On most of my runs, it ends here.
3.
I think at one point I spent about an hour doing this.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
So I would say it's on par with the NEA jump.
Which NDA jump is... Well, which one? The original one?
The original one, yeah. So there's a specific jump at the end of NEA, which is known for being like the worst jump in the game and the hardest to do. It's number 4, we got one more try. And this one is pretty damn close.
Come on, marathon luck. Everyone type marathon luck in chat. I'm gonna do it.
Okay. I can do this. Just don't do it early. It's fine. He's not working with me here. Oh, it's not a great boost. No. All right.
Damn.
We are we're just gonna refill health, and we're just gonna not do the skip. But pretty much you can just jump across the gap, but it's very hard to do. Unfortunate.
Instead, it is gauntlet time.
It is gauntlet time. This is going to be a long series of locked rooms where we have to kill every single enemy before the room unlocks.
Mm.
And here, I don't know if we explained this already. I don't think we did. Here you're gonna see him using Infinidog, which is the secret weapon of this run. Pretty much. You can switch weapon loadouts while using the dog spirit, and if you switch it properly, the dog's usages won't go down. So you pretty much have unlimited damage, which is very useful in a run where damage is has a hard cap.
Yep. So it pretty much makes it so there's already 2 sub-spirits that World Record currently grabs that we do not. And overall, just from, because this is a brand new route that nobody's seen before. And just from the routing changes, it saves about 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
And the run itself, about 15 minutes, yeah. And the run itself is an hour. So a lot of the time sink is because it bounces a little bit because the bosses themselves are slower to kill. And I have to be careful with these bosses because these enemies, a lot of them block damage from the front. So I'm being very particular in how I kill them.
Again, more subtle foreshadowing. You'll never guess what happens at the end of this area.
I'll let Kiki do all the explaining.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, I took the contact damage there.
This gauntlet is really difficult even when you're just doing a regular playthrough of this game. So doing it with limited spirit, very limited damage and limited spirits other than the dog, as well as limited heals, is just horrific. And then if you die, you have to redo all of it, and the fancy schmancy jump at the beginning.
Oh, he dove into me there. That was really unfortunate. If you attack an enemy from the front while they're blocking, they immediately counterattack you, and it changes their attack cycling.
It says 66 dog uses left, but I feel like we use it a bunch more than that. I wonder.
Way more. Way more.
Way more. Okay, this is a hard run.
This one's pretty bad.
Juggle the enemy a little bit just to get some extra damage and stop him from doing any counterattacks. Miss it on that enemy, but overall, that's fine. These enemies are easier because you can actually just stun lock them out of their attacks.
Oh yeah, one thing I want to mention actually, we're supposed to have a proper dash by the time we come to this game. We don't even have that.
We don't have a dash.
No, yeah, no.
There's an enemy that we were supposed to kill by now, but she's a main chapter enemy, so we just skipped her entirely. But whoa, okay, I've never seen them do that before. That was crazy, like synchronized swimming.
They're pulling out all the stops for the tricks in this. They know it's a marathon, so they're trying to be fancy with it.
Absolutely.
And coming up,
Okay.
one of my favorite soundtracks in this entire game belongs to this person.
Oh yeah, it's time. It's time.
All right, Kiki, you may carry on. I'll shut up for a bit.
I may carry on. I'll wait until we get to the fight to properly explain this. I feel like that's more cinematic.
Yeah.
Right now we're just
Alright.
upgrading spirits and switching our loadouts for preparation. And yeah, so right here, this boss is called Julius, and his whole gimmick is that he completely blocks damage from the front unless he's staggered or doing certain attacks. And that makes this fight one heck of a lot more difficult because you can't just throw all your damage at him the whole time. You have to wait until you're behind him to do anything. Which makes this fight very slow and very painful and very difficult because he also pretty much does your entire health bar in one hit because you're so unbelievably underpowered for this area.
Yep. But whenever we stun him, we can chain a bunch of Infinite Dog together, and that's our main win condition.
I would appreciate the music, except I can't really hear it.
Fair.
I can hear some of it. I'm really just imagining the rest. Like I'm picturing it in my brain.
Ooh,
Ooh.
what?
Above that there. That was
Oh.
not ideal. I was tried to get above the hitbox. It has an extremely high hitbox. I should have just tried to do the usual. But pretty much, yeah, that's why this is hitless. Because a lot of his, I think about a solid 50% of his attacks will just insta-kill. Because there's health pickups throughout the game. We didn't grab a single one of them.
Yeah.
That's too slow. We need to just go fast and not die.
Theoretically, it is faster if you just defeat every single boss hitless. And that's the idea behind this route.
Remember, we don't even have a proper dash.
No. So it's hard to get behind him because you have to ram your face into the ground every single time. Which makes it so that you can't attack immediately afterwards. And there, I wasted
There's a
2
phase
spirits because he
change.
was in a phase transition. That's what you're supposed to do. You can use
Good
Headless
parry.
Defender to block him. And I keep a little bit of distance, otherwise Dog doesn't do all of his hits there. There we are. Oh, he did 2.
Nice
I could have
dodge.
had this defended that, but I chose to save the use, and because he was low on stamina. Ooh, it buffered my headless defender there, which is unfortunate. We do get the 3rd phase. I'm gonna go as far away as I can from him, in order to not get hit by his hitbox. 'Cause
Fire
he has
my
like a
laser.
Ginormous laser.
big laser.
That's the gimmick of the 3rd phase. Is he has a ginormous laser that he shoots from his sword somehow. Yippee! Have fun
He's
dodging that.
something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the main spirits in this game, by the way, once you defeat that certain boss that also gives you a dash, you can unlock the last rites, which, again, we don't have them, because no main spirits and we didn't even beat the boss. But the last rites, you get to actually keep what the boss does. Which is really cool. Oh my god.
I didn't. That was really close, by the way.
That was crazy.
So, for example, if you defeat this boss and do his last rite, you get to shoot a giant laser beam as well. One of the things I love about
Well,
this game.
Nice.
that's the
That was a
unfortunate
close
part.
one.
Because the only bosses that can use last rites, which is like your big power-up ultimate ability that you have a gauge for, are main spirits.
Yeah.
But we can't equip them.
We're
so-
on sub-spirits only.
But we do get his passive, so we do officially have a new dash. So we don't have
We have the spectral
the
lance.
replacement dash for swap, but we do have the long distance dashing. And it's been a long time coming, but we are going to go back and fight the boss that we skipped over. We did this so that we could fight Julius first, because Julius scales with more HP.
Mm.
And Garrod here does not. Well,
Yes,
technically
so
they
this-
scale the same, but he doesn't eat damage.
This is Garrod, who is now kind of powered up from all the chapters we've progressed. Or I like to call him Jared just because I think it's funnier. If he's just like some frat boy, I think that's funnier. And luckily, unlike the Julius fight, this guy actually jumps, so it's possible, although not super duper consistent, to get some fall damage when he does his jumps.
But on phase transitions, they always do the exact same attacks. So second
Yes.
phase, you can always reliably have him do the wave attack. Ooh, if you dive too early there, you will get hit by the backhand on that. And if you get hit by the front of that slam attack, it's an insta-kill at our stage. Just waiting for him to jump here. But otherwise, we should be entering third phase.
Nice.
I got hit by the shockwave there, which is unfortunate, but happens.
It becomes a frog in this phase.
He does a lot of
frog.
jumping.
Oh, yes. But it's more reliable for dropping him, so I don't mind. It's really close there, but I'm gonna wait for him to jump again.
Very nice, very cool, very swag.
That's pretty much going to be the grow out fight.
Unless...
Unless something terrible happens. No, we're good.
No, another gold split. Not a bad grow out at all. And he gives the other half of the movement abilities we need to enter into the final area of the game.
Verboten domain, which verboten stands for... not stand, means forbidden in German, if you didn't know that.
Ah,
I knew that.
I did not know that, actually.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
We
You
should
know,
have,
this guy told me the other like week on a stream that he didn't know that bosses take fall damage and Lily doesn't. He never noticed that. Classic
I knew
speedrunner
fall-
knowledge.
I knew bosses took fall damage. That's the entire like fast
I know, but
track
you
for
you
bosses.
said you didn't know that you didn't notice that Lily doesn't and that bosses do. You never thought about it. For shame, for shame.
Okay, well, me not thinking about things is a lot different from me not knowing things. I don't think about a lot of things. Second try, by the way, that's a lot tighter than you think.
I think you should use your head. Oh,
Hold
800
on.
Wow.
Hold
800
on.
stagnant blight.
Another 800 blade.
By the way, I wanted to mention that we do have a German runner coming up. Not soon,
Very
but
nice.
he will be ashamed of you, Rayon.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that I don't know my linguistics. So we're going to be using the dash and slam. We're actually going to store a slam so that instead of having to climb all the way up, we can just plow straight through this one.
That I
You're
love
not supposed
that I
to be able
like
to do
calling
that.
the Honix skip because my friend Honix found it on his casual playthrough.
We would call it that, but it just makes way more sense to call it slam storage.
Yeah. I just call it.
So-
I just personally call it. And when I'm in public, I call it slam storage because I'll get flamed on if I don't.
Real. We do
Absolutely.
get this first try
I'll
here.
find
Perfect.
any excuse to beef with Mark. And now we're in the
So,
Verboten domain.
I call it the flesh domain because pretty much every single thing here is made out of flesh. You can see on the right side
There's
in
an
the
eye.
background. That's just a mouth. It's a mouth.
There's a mouth, but there was an
It's
eye.
there's eyes and
Who
mouths
knows?
everywhere. It's not great. So I do want to change. We don't need headless anymore here, but we do need the mask. There are actually I need to. So all that 800 blade we got, we're putting all into dog. All 800 gone. But there's a lot of infected like water and areas here that we can't really touch. But the mask makes it so that we take reduced damage over time when in these areas.
Yeah.
So we'd be taking way more damage here without the mask.
That does 2 damage for water, isn't it?
Yep. There is an area of the game called Super Blight. We don't have to go there, thankfully, but it is a very difficult area because of the amount of blight it gives. You need like all the healing items for it.
Mm.
But our entire
And,
goal here. Oh, go on.
Yeah. Okay, I would pretty much what we're doing right now is grabbing levers so that we can go down the elevator because there's a boss that we need to fight in order to get to the final boss.
Unfortunate drop, but we didn't take the poison damage. So yeah, there's just one big elevator, but it's got a bunch of locked doors. This half of the run is long. This is going to be iffy. Unfortunate. But we didn't take damage there, so we are alright. It's just trying to move as fast as we can through these bladed areas, because with no health pickups, we are a lot more prone to dying.
this is pretty much the last area of the game, so all the enemies here are pretty much one-shots, which means that we can't really stop to fight them, except for the little flying fish. We can knock those out of the air to get more XP.
Uh-oh.
But
Ooh.
that was crazy.
Those large lumps of flesh deal extraordinary amounts of damage. If they attack you, it's a one-shot no matter what. And they are very hard to jump over. So they are the run killers for this area. You don't really have to worry about any other enemy. It's just those ones that are terrible. You'll see I'm using a lot of sub-spirits for this area to cut off the drops early. I tried to be... I was a smartass with that one. Don't do it. Don't do what I did. I like to throw youth off the elevator because it's funny. But you do not keep momentum from the elevators. They will just move without you. So, don't be a smartass.
Oh, by the way, this...
Sometimes those
Oh, yeah?
floating... Go on.
I was gonna say, this is on the way to the left side of the lever that opens up, like, the main path.
Yeah, we got
Yes.
we got the left side. We're trying to get to the
Right side?
sorry. Yes, we got the right side. We're trying to get to the left side.
Okay.
I'm not good at my directions, man. So we're about halfway, but there's gonna be a lot more flesh. So
I just have to say, Verboten Domain is probably one of the most aesthetically displeasing areas in the entirety of this game, and it's a very good area for that, because its entire point is to be very, like, nasty, kind of.
yeah, pretty
Some
much.
of the benches are pretty. Some of the bench areas.
Yeah, one
There's
of the
One with,
adventures,
like,
actually.
fungus. I like that one.
Grab the blighted appendage. That was
Ooh.
unfortunate.
1 for 2, no. Fortunately, we're faster than the flesh.
So we are out of healing here, unfortunately. This one's a tight jump.
Oh my god.
We got through that. So there is a strat coming up here that does already exist, but Spalt makes it easier. And pretty much scot-free. Just gonna kill this for the experience. Those floating enemies give a lot of experience, but you can eat a lot of your time if you just take the time to just kill them.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna jump over this one. We're going to water skip as much as we can here without touching the water. Which, if as soon as you touch the water, if you jump again, it'll let you skip along the top of it. But we're gonna look for that area pointing down there. We're going to jump, rise up out of the water, and hook with honey.
Nice.
So you may notice it looks like we had a little bit of invincibility there because we did phase through an enemy projectile, but Spalt does not track projectiles during the freezing process. So that is the only reason I survived there, because I physically moved through a enemy's projectile.
Ooh, don't die here. I'll have drinks it.
Well, don't say that.
Okay,
Don't
never
say
mind.
that.
Just barely grabbing that lever so that we can go down the elevator now.
Absolutely. I found out there's a different route for this, so I just found
Hmm.
I
She
don't
found
think
this
the
part
route
this morning.
involves almost
It
dying.
does not.
though.
It does not involve taking contact damage from the same enemy. The issue with these, it's nice here because you can push the enemies to the side when you hit them, but if you accidentally hit them with one of your spirits as you go past them, you take the contact damage. Like there, when you come out of Lily's falling state into her idle state from using the spirit, it raises her hitbox, so you can slam your head into enemies if you're not careful enough with it. Trying to knock down as many enemies as I can here as I go, just for the XP. Okay, this one's just in my way. Okay. That slug there is hard to see. I always forget about him.
The slugs in the mist are hard to spot. They're very well
They-
hidden, those little guys.
That they are. But we get to our main objective here, is the large elevators, which for some reason, if you just let them go for a bit and then slam, they just despawn. So you can do the elevator skip from before to phase through them, or you can just despawn them, which is a bit faster. Except I didn't wait long enough that time.
Yeah.
And we get on to possibly the hardest boss of the run. We're going to equip Bladed Appendage so we do slightly more damage. We can't enhance any of our spirits. So we're just going to go for it. If I get hit
Alrighty.
by any attack, I instantly die.
So Muriel's whole gimmick is that she's completely stationary. That's kind of it. She does so much damage, and she's kind of a tank. So it's really just a game of patience, while also just knowing when the right times to strike are.
We want to down her as much as possible, because that's when we can do the most damage. When she does that attack, it does a tiny amount of damage, not enough to be lethal, but it reduces our damage because of Executioner's Glove. It's not like there's any harm in healing it though, because the only lethal damage you can take is a one-shot. So just remain at full HP at all times. We get into second phase here, which has an extremely hard to dodge attack.
Love that.
If we had the other specific kind of dodge, it'd be much easier. But overall, got through it alright. Did take another instance of damage there, which is unfortunate. You can dodge through that. I don't like to, because it's not easy. I don't want to accidentally just kill myself. Oh, I don't want to heal here, but I have to. It's really just a delaying attack is all that one is.
Oh god.
This attack isn't as bad in the second phase. It's a lot worse in the third phase.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh, that sucks.
I no longer have heals to bring back my DPS, so really we're just relying on Infinidog here. Ideally, she never does that long range attack. Oh, this is very good. She didn't
That is lucky.
Start with it off rip. If we're lucky enough, she'll never do the unavoidable attack. This is a really good start, actually.
This is shockingly fortunate.
Don't choke.
Ooh, meatball.
Ooh.
Okay. That could have been
That was
real
crazy.
bad there.
Come on, final
So we're out of
stretch.
Hopefully
subspirits.
this
The only
is
thing we
it.
have is dog.
Yes!
There we go.
We are
She-
so unbelievably lucky she didn't do the claw attack there.
Marathon lock finally
she-
kicking in. Oh,
So yeah, she does that claw attack. It's rough. It's significantly faster, and because of the movement we have, the only way we can dodge it is if we are on the far side of either side of the arena. If you're in the middle of the arena when she starts the attack, you're frame trapped. You can't dodge it.
Also, we just Faden the Heretic as a spirit, which is probably the most damaging spirit in the game, except we don't get to use it.
Nope. Main spirit.
Yeah, Fidden is absolutely goated. His special attack is absolutely broken.
Mhm.
But unfortunately we won't get to see it in this run.
Nope. And another one Phaeton Thanos does is that his passive allows you to open up various doors hidden around the map. One of those doors we're going to head to now. I did break that flower on the left side, so that during this blighted run, I receive healing. Makes it a little fast, makes it more reliable, so you don't have to stop to heal or equip the Heretic's Mask for coming in here.
Forbidden's champion.
And then we're going to kill one of the only movement sub-spirits in the game.
Yeah, there's two.
'Cause
There's what's it called? Incompetent sinner.
Incompetent sinner. I think.
Incompetent. I always say incompetent. That's why I was struggle with me.
Interesting. But we need him for one singular jump, and that's it.
Mm.
And that is because there is a wall climb ability in this game, but we skipped that boss entirely. So we don't have a like integral ability we're supposed to have.
Yeah, we're missing pretty much all of the movement that we kind of need for this area, so we kind of have to improvise.
Yep. Which
Yep.
the Verboten champion is basically an extra jump, so we get a triple jump now, technically.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's what Verboten champion does. It's just
Yeah.
a bit of a vertical movement. But we've tried to route him out, but you need him or Incompetent Center, so we're gonna do a little elevator skip here just to phase through it using Spalt.
Now we're in the abyss, where the fish are bigger.
They're
And we
bigger
want to-
and will one-shot you.
We want to knock as many of these out of the air as possible so that they die with the fall damage, because they give like a ton of XP, which will help us with the final boss fight.
Yeah, that was half your XP bar. It just fills
Yeah.
from one fish.
And you may notice there are red flowers everywhere, and those replenish your spirit uses, so we don't really have to worry about limited spirit uses here, which makes collecting the XP from these fish a lot easier.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's the jump we need Verboten champion for, doing a Spalt's air stall to conserve our horizontal positioning while still getting higher vertical.
Thank you, Umbra Knight, by the way.
Spacing here is so rough. Okay. I have to like focus when killing these things, because if you take a single shot from them, you're sent back to that initial bench. You have to take the entire elevator down again. And I think that's enough of them killed. I'm not going to kill anymore. Unless it's like an easy one, like this one. But we're just going to move past and move on to the final boss of the run. Which is going to be very awkward with our current skill set.
Oh, now we're in the abyss, actually. Never mind.
This is the real
So,
abyss.
Fully
Maybe the real
enhanced.
abyss was the friends we made along the way.
What friends?
You're right, we just made enemies.
We did find a headless defender that provided us with jokes.
He did provide us
terrible.
with yeah.
Terrible jokes. So the main strategy here is you want to kill all of the ads as soon as they spawn every time. You cannot leave a single one alive, and the fact that she's already spawned 2 is really bad, because when I run out of spirits, I can no longer kill them at all. It's very, very tedious. Please don't spawn one. Okay, good. You can interrupt her out of it, but sometimes she'll still spawn it if you're too late. She spawned one anyways. Ooh. Not a great start, but we can recover.
Ideally in this
gonna
fight
turn
she
some-
never spawns fish and instead does literally anything else. But unfortunately we're not having that kind of luck.
Yep,
She won't
because on
stop
every
spawning
phase
fish.
transition, she'll guarantee try to spawn fish. And once she's in the second and third phase, she has a chance of spawning 2 at a time. So she'll spawn 2 of them back to back. Luckily, she did not this time. She chose to attack here, which is very good.
Ooh. Unfortunate.
Well, I could
Darn
hit both of them
fishies.
at the same time, so I don't really... Ooh, that was... I don't know how that guy had so much HP. She spawned another one immediately, which is not ideal. Ooh, she went for the double
Ooh.
spawn.
Oh my god.
So that's why we have Verboten champion in this fight.
Do you know how much
because
HP we
he
have right
does
now?
a fair amount of stamina. Not much.
Yeah,
Not
because
nearly enough.
because doesn't the fish do like 159 or something?
I believe so. I think we have like 80.
Mmm.
Yeah. So. Oh,
Oh
that was
my
really close.
God. Kill the
Can't
fish.
attack her
Kill the
until I kill
fish.
the fish, though. She's a really high HP for compared to the amount of spirits we have, so this is not looking good. It's not a great attack. I guess like you can dodge through it, but it's very, very hard.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
wow.
Unfortunate. It's really bad.
Oh!
Oh, dang.
Unfortunate. Yeah, it's hard to
Trapped while trying to
multitask.
get the fish.
She spawned a lot of fish. I ran out of spirits, so that's the downside of this run. It's hard. But so we're here for immediate fish.
You love to see it. You'll love to see it.
Do we?
No. One thing that I always say during this part of the run is that at least, you know, when you kill a fish, it gives you a lot of XP. So eventually you'll level up and do ever so slightly more damage.
Yes, if you redo the boss fight enough times, it gets easier
If you
every
get-
time.
If you get trapped here for 2 hours,
Definitely didn't happen when I was first learning the route.
definitely never happened. There was never like a 5-hour run where 2 of those hours were here.
Yes, on my first ever
flies
attempt on
when
this
you're
route,
having
it took
fun.
5 hours. Most of it was fun. I was on Julie's for 2 hours, and I was on this fight for 2 hours. Well,
Good times, good times.
no, I was on Julie's for an hour, Muriel for an hour and a half, and then 2 hours here. It was rough.
Yep.
So I wasted 2 spirits there because I wasn't paying attention, and she phase transitioned.
It was all part of my master plan to distract you from the run by making you reminisce about the horrible past.
Why would you do that, Kiki?
It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I'll
You've
be-
fallen
I'll be
right
proud
into
of
my
that.
trap. We'll be stuck in this marathon forever.
No, I'm gonna cut the run before it reaches more than 45.
Yeah, I would
How dare
really
you.
hope you mercy kill the run at that point. I don't want to be like that one Halo runner. I've delayed my jump there because if you get hit by that wave attack, it's another insta-kill. Really, the only thing you don't instantly die to is
It's
if
contact
you
damage,
take
right?
contact
Yeah.
damage. Yeah. If you take contact damage from the fish, it does not insta-kill you. I used an extra use of Verboten Champion there to down her so she wouldn't spawn a second fish afterwards. But she's just gonna spawn it anyways, so never mind. She didn't spawn another, thankfully. Just gonna leave a fungal there so she takes damage over time during that.
Right, if we get to like 130, if we get past 130, I'll let you use Faden actually. I feel like the views actually deserve like a kill at least.
Oh yeah, no, we'll kill that one for sure. This run is actually looking really good. So.
Yeah, I was about to comment on that. But yeah. Ooh, oh,
Ooh.
thank God.
Unfortunate.
Why is she has decided that now is fish time. So that's fun.
Fish time is not a good time.
Oh my god.
More fish. Yummy.
Double fish. I'm just ignoring the fish.
Yes!
Yeah.
Wait, time on purify, right?
GGs.
So, time
Time-
is going to be
yeah,
coming
time
up
is on
soon,
purify.
as soon as we purify. Yeah. So, time.
Time 1:12:17. Awesome.
Nice.
So,
That is not bad.
For reference, even with our deaths on this run, world record is only 7 minutes ahead of us.
Mm.
If you can finish this run deathless, it's world record.
Yeah,
Good luck, though.
GGs.
Right.
I know, I ain't trying that.
You want to do it?
No,
It's easy, trust me.
you just said it was... Okay.
But
Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
But here we are at arguably the bad ending of the game.
Hmm.
But overall, I highly recommend playing Under Lilies. The soundtrack itself is gorgeous. It's just a good
Absolutely.
Metroidvania.
It also has
There's a lot
a boss rush mode that is very fun. We didn't get to see this run, of course, but I would
Yes.
recommend that as well.
Yeah.
Not coming from any sort of place of bias or anything.
Mm-hmm. Comes from the primarily boss runner.
But yeah,
That's the only thing I do. That's my gimmick, and I stick to it.
but thank you to so much for
sorry.
coming out for this event. Is there anything else you want to say or do while you wrap up?
Not in particular. I really like charity, and I like being at charity events. So this was a really cool thing to get to do, to show off one of my favorite games, one of my favorite speedrun communities. Because speedrunning, first and foremost, is a community before the game.
Yes.
And I have a lot of respect for the developers here before I tore their game apart, because I love the game. And, appreciate everyone coming out for this.
I don't have anything fun to say other than remember the men.
Dang.
That's it. That's
Not
my
the
one
men.
thing.
No.
Yeah, actually,
Yes, the
speaking of
men.
Kiki, where's Miko?
Hi.
Your bird.
He's in a different room currently. That's why you
Oh.
haven't heard them this entire time.
Wow. Alright. But thank you all too
No
so
fire
much for
alarm for
coming
you.
out. Thank you too so much for coming out. And we'll see you right on the next one, which actually is who we're benefiting, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Right.
I know that.
Right. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.
Have a good one.
Bye.